What's up, Trader's Edge? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option. I am back from California and I'm ready to dig into the markets. Today, we're going to talk about the economic reports that are hitting you that you need to be on top of. We're going to talk about the levels in the S&P and the NASDAQ. We're going to look at the formerly Mag 7. Remember, the Mag 7 don't exist anymore. We'll take a look at oil and gold and talk about trading this week. All right, let's dig in. So to start, next week is all about the Federal Reserve. We got the Federal Reserve on Wednesday. We're basically through earnings. We still have Micron next week, so that's a big one to keep an eye on. But the big earnings the big thing that we're keeping an eye on is FOMC. That FOMC meeting, I think it's going to be a game changer for the market. Listen, I need you to be prepared. All right, pay attention right now. The FOMC is not going to go the way the market likes it. I do not think they're going to even hint at a rate cut in May, and they're unlikely to have a rate cut in June. I think you're going to see the market have a pretty nasty move on that. That's going to be a real problem. So bonds are at the forefront right now. Keep an eye on the 10-year and the 30-year. But one more time, no FOMC rate cut in May, no FOMC rate cut in June. And that is why the market could be problematic, especially with triple witching being over. All right. So speaking of which, we had quadruple witching on Friday, or triple witching, either or. And that is index options, indexes, index futures, equity options, and futures options all expiring. So a ton of money comes off the table. And then we've got the FOMC. This frees up the market to fall. All right. So think about this. We had a ton with quadruple witching. All right. We're going to talk about quadruple witching in about 30 seconds. And I want to walk you through the entire process because this is big. All right. So we have quadruple witching. These March options have been around forever. They all disappear. All right. This opens up huge liquidity pockets in the market. At the same time, the FOMC gives the market not what it wants. So with a liquidity pocket and the FOMC soft, that allows the market to drop. And I think that's what's setting up for next week. Now, obviously, Powell could do anything, but that is, I think, the scenario that is kind of scary. Not looking for a huge sell-off, but I think we could retest 5,000 next week. Speaking of levels, now let's dig into the SPX itself. We're sitting above the 21. We have not dipped below the 21-day moving average since February. And we haven't actually closed below the 21-day moving average since January. I think that comes next week. The Qs, they're actually below the 21-day. They have had a down week. They could be heading to the 50-day down at 427.30. I think there's plenty of room for them to drop. And the Russell 2000, look at the move that it had on Thursday, pretty ugly, getting a little bit of a rebound on Friday, but all in all, none of this looks very good. Why? Well, you got weakness in the formula Mag 7. Remember, these are no longer connected. I think Apple's oversold. I'm looking for that one to bounce here. That could be one of the strong ones, but Microsoft had a huge day on Thursday, pulls right back on Friday. Keep an eye out for this one. Google, remember when this thing was down at 130, back to 141? It's probably topped out. I'm looking for that one to pull back again. NVIDIA, I think up about $11. Down a week. I think you're going to see some continued selling next week. I'm looking for NVIDIA sub 800 next week. And then Tesla, how low can you go, Tesla? It's been a rough run for Tesla, down all the way down to 162. Finally starting to look really interesting. Might be worth picking up here. All right, we could see Apple and Tesla rally, and the rest of the Mag 7s, your Microsofts and Metas and all of them, and especially NVIDIA, pull back. Another name that I think is due for a nasty sell-off is SMCI. All right, now on the week, it's down a little bit, but as a whole, it's been very strong. Let's now look at oil, and I'll dig more into my stocks to watch. Oil is taking off. You see ExxonMobil all the way up at 111, really taking off. Occidental, this is one that we closed this week. We sold the March 60 calls we bought for like 170, sold them at $3. Great trade in Delta Strike. But all these energy names, I think there's some upside. Now, the other place that's interesting is banking. Banking looks overbought. You can see XLF is pretty strong. JP Morgan is an unstoppable force. Every time they try and dump it, they buy it. I do think you're going to see this one. This one's feeling pretty toppy. Looking for that to drop. So you got your oil name strong, financials, maybe a little overbought. And now let's just real briefly look at gold. Gold back below 200. I'm looking for gold to get back to 190. Gold is also overbought. And then finally, bonds. You're going to want to keep an eye on bonds. Notice how they have dumped this week. We get a break lower here on FOMC. With that liquidity pocket, that is where the market can break 5,000 again. And I think that's on the table for next week. All right, folks. I hope you had a great week. I had a great week in California. I'm looking forward to being back with you guys. I'll have my next week's watch list for you coming up tomorrow. I hope you have a great day. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. See you soon.